It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Sheff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in greater West Bloomfield. Just recently, the first signing day of the West Bloomfield school year took place, and 3 young, talented athletes signed their letters of intent to continue their athletic careers in college. Volleyball player Amani Agut signed to Tennessee Tech University. Basketball player Sheridan Beal signed to North Alabama, and swimmer Elizabeth Eichbrecht signed to Indiana University. All great destinations for these very promising athletes. And I attended the recent signing day to speak with some of the athletes and their coaches to hear about what this day means to them.
It was amazing. It really shows that I'm stepping into a new chapter of my life, and now I'm super excited to see what's here to come. I always love being around family, and it was great to see everyone come out and support me today. It just means that I made a difference in a way, if that makes sense, and I really left my mark here, especially on the court.
It's always a great day to see high school students, athletes, sign for to play another 4 years. Not a lot of kids get a chance to play the next 4 years, and Amani was, in the dozen years that I've coached varsity volleyball, is probably the best offensive player I've had. So to see her excel and to be able to have the opportunity to play, I knew she'd have an opportunity to play at the next level, but to see her sign, it's always a special day.
It feels great. You know, this is a moment that I've been looking forward to for forever since I started playing basketball. So it's just a surreal feeling, and it's just a very great experience. I'm very blessed.
And you had some very, very great words from your coach, but also from a lot of the people you've played basketball with. That had to have been such an incredible surprise to see during this special day.
Yes, it was very surprising. I wasn't ready for that, but it felt really good. I've been with these girls for a really long time now, and these are my very close friends, and to hear these words coming from them is just a very good feeling.
Well, Sheridan's truly loved. I mean, she's loved beyond the coaches, our teammates, her classmates, and I just thought it'd be a great opportunity for her to get her flowers, so to speak, from her teammates and also some of the other players that play other sports. But I tell you one thing that was unique was seeing one of her AAU teammates here just coming to support her. It was a phenomenal, loving time.
That's got to mean such great things for the school as well, to see this impact right in front of them.
Yeah, it's great for the community. It's great for the schools. The kids, they're not there on campus yet, but to play another 4 years at college and to have that ability to meet new people, have another group of teammates to play with and coaches, and to excel and to travel. And there's a lot of things that you get that's beyond high school. And it's just another 4 years to be able to excel and make your dreams come true.
And heading off to college, playing for Tennessee, what are you looking forward to at the collegiate level?
I'm looking forward to being a strong player at the college level. I feel like I've gotten to that point here in high school and club. Now going into college, I also want to make a mark there and just see how far my career can take me.
It just inspires me to be the best person that I can be. Coming from West Bloomfield, I'm around a lot of greatness, and it gives me not necessarily a head start, but it gives me a lot to, stand on, a lot of resources, and it just makes me want to live up to the expectations of the school.
Man, I always love moments like these where you see all of this hard work pay off and to be celebrated in this extraordinary way. So big congratulations to Amani, to Sheridan, and to Elizabeth for all of their success with West Bloomfield High School, and I can't wait to see what's to come as they make it to the collegiate level and they continue their athletic careers. Join the Optimist Club of West Bloomfield for a morning of camaraderie, community spirit, and a complimentary continental breakfast as they welcome another inspiring guest to the podium on Tuesday, November 18th. Their distinguished guest speaker is Brooke Adams, the energetic and passionate philanthropy director at Life Remodeled, a Detroit nonprofit known for transforming neighborhoods through large-scale volunteer initiatives. Attendees are encouraged to bring friends, neighbors, or family members for what promises to be a motivating and uplifting gathering. Once again, this is going to be taking place tomorrow, Tuesday, November 18th at 7:30 a.m. The West Bloomfield Police Department is inviting applicants to join its cadet program, a hands-on entry-level opportunity for those pursuing a future in law enforcement. Cadets support the department through essential duties such as taking reports, assisting with prisoner processing, helping at the front desk, conducting breath tests and fingerprinting, and aiding officers with data entry and station tasks. The program offers valuable experience for individuals enrolled in or recently graduated from criminal justice programs. Interested candidates can apply online through West Bloomfield Township's job portal until November 26th. And for more info, you can head over to wbtownship.org/jobs. Once again, wbtownship.org/jobs. And again, the applicants are able to apply until November 26th. Holiday Happiness 2025 is an annual community service initiative organized by the Optimist Club of West Bloomfield, dedicated to bringing joy and support to local children and families during the holiday season. The event highlights the Optimist Club's mission of empowering youth, fostering service, and promoting positivity in the greater West Bloomfield community. And here to tell us about this year's festivities is the president of the West Bloomfield Optimist Club, Jenny Suida. Jenny, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, great to be here.
Of course. I mean, I always love this time of year. Holidays are coming around. A lot of great work being done for the community in that time. Now, for those unfamiliar, can you give us a bit of an overview of what Holiday Happiness is and how long it's been a part of the West Bloomfield community?
Sure. So celebrating this time of year has been a part of the West Bloomfield Optimist Club events for, it started probably more than 25 years ago. We've been doing Holiday Happiness, this gifting event, since the global pandemic started in around 2019. So we had to pivot. But prior to that, for over 20 years, it was a holiday party for the kids in need and their families, held at Orchard Lake St. Mary's. And there were lots and lots of people involved. But since that time in 2019, we've done the shift because the Optimists were determined to keep the gift giving going, even if we couldn't do large gatherings.
That's right. You keep that spirit of the holidays alive no matter what is going on in the community. And there's a lot of great things that this event does for Greater West Bloomfield. But what needs in the community does this event specifically aim to address during the holiday season, would you say?
So I would say the biggest thing is really just bringing joy and giving kids that special meal and that special time together with their families, giving them a little bit of extra breathing room and providing some nice things that they might need to have that big meal in the evening, that big hearty breakfast, a warm winter coat, and just some new little toy or gift that they wouldn't otherwise have.
You're right. Even those tiny gestures and even those little things can mean so much to so many different people. What do you typically see from the families around this time of year, especially those that maybe are experiencing some financial challenges during this holiday time?
Well, we rely heavily on the school district and our partners there to help identify those families that are in need. We don't have people coming directly to us. It's a group, it's a township-wide effort. But we know that these families, and especially some of us who haven't always been well off, know that from our past that we might have been in positions where what are things that we needed that time of year. And when we see the families come pick it up, we see a lot of gratitude, and that's the most rewarding part of this.
I'd imagine so, and I'm so glad you just talked about the volunteer efforts for an event like this, because volunteers play such a huge role in helping events like Holiday Happiness and so many other things in Greater West Bloomfield. What roles do you think volunteers truly play in the success of this event?
It's vital. The volunteers are absolutely important, and we couldn't do this event without them. In fact, all of the Optimists themselves are volunteers. None of these are paid positions. So without volunteers, the event wouldn't exist. We wouldn't have such a great, just a great atmosphere and sense of camaraderie.
It's been said that the volunteers truly are the lifeblood of the community, and it's events like these that truly showcase why that is the case. Out of everything, what do you hope the Optimist Club, what do they hope participants, both volunteers and recipients, take away from this wonderful experience?
So we would hope that, the kids get to go home with a nice gift and the families get to feel like they brought something extra special to their family. For the volunteers, it's a chance for us to really see that as fortunate and as we are to live in a place like West Bloomfield, and as beautiful as this township is, there still are people in need and right in our neighborhood. And so it gives us a chance to recognize that and help when we have the opportunity to do so. And beyond that, my big hope is that when I and others have been in need ourselves, when we do have the chance in the future. So if these kids in the future get a chance like this, or I'm sure they will get a chance to help other people, they'll look back on this time and remember the help that they received and then want to give and pay it forward with a cheerful heart.
That's right. Paying it forward is so important. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with the president of the West Bloomfield Optimist Club, Jenny Suida, about this year's Holiday Happiness community event that's going to be taking place throughout Greater West Bloomfield. Now, so many wonderful things people can take away from an event like this. How would you say this event connects to the broader mission of what the Optimist Club truly does?
Yeah, so the Optimists, our catchphrase is bringing out the best in our youth, our communities, and ourselves. And we're here to just bring out that optimism. What's the best that could happen? Bring out the positive vision and hope for a better future. So that's really how we hope to connect with both the community as the people who are helping serve and those who are receiving something special, that hope for the future.
That's absolutely right. Now, some important dates for everybody to remember. The Holiday Wrapping Day is going to be taking place on December 13th, and the Distribution Day is going to be taking place on the 21st. A very, very crucial and important part of the Holiday Happiness celebration. How have you seen that part of the program evolve over the last few years?
Oh, yeah. So from going to the big party to the distribution event that it is now, it's been a huge learning curve for us to go from that kind of party mode to how can we party but still get things done efficiently, because the West Bloomfield Fire Department does graciously allow us to use their space and they lend a hand. Every single one of their crew helps out in such a big way. Sometimes their family and friends join us. So that's how this has evolved, just kind of learning how to have better process, but also continue that fun and that joy and that helping aspect throughout all of this.
That's absolutely right, and I'm so happy you just mentioned the West Bloomfield Fire Department. They also play a very, very big role in helping this event come to life every single year. What can you say about your partnership with the West Bloomfield Fire Department and how that truly elevates what's able to be accomplished with Holiday Happiness?
Well, first of all, they're just very competent, trustworthy, and reliable people. And so that's wonderful to be partnering with people who hold those values. But it's just so nice partnering with the people who serve our community on a day-to-day basis, and knowing that they're supporting us and that we can help them out. But it's just really it's really great to feel like we have such trustworthy people in our community with high levels of character who are standing with us.
You're certainly right. It helps that to have their support and for all of these incredible events to be possible. I got a couple more questions for you, Jenny. How can local residents, businesses, or organizations, if they're watching this and they want to get involved, how can they get more involved and support Holiday Happiness?
Sure. So first and foremost, if you feel you have nothing to give, you always have your prayers. So that's important, and that really does help. But we would also ask that people consider making a donation to the fundraiser, because we are purchasing things like food and brand new jackets and gifts for the kids that can't just be donated from one's closet. So we want to give something special. But also, we do have those two opportunities to volunteer if you or your children would like to help wrap gifts, or if you would like to be involved in the distribution day event or helping pick up some of these food pallets from the grocery stores that are helping us out to drop off at the fire department. And then lastly, well, two more things. If you have a vehicle and you could help us kind of catch the last people at the end, you think about the people receiving these gifts aren't always they're pretty stretched thin sometimes already. So if they're not able to pick up their gift at the event, we do like to make sure that we have a team going out and dropping things off for people with extenuating circumstances. And then finally, we do have flyers. And so if your business or your place of work or worship can just share that flyer so that people know what we're doing in the community, not just for kids, but for kids who go to school and live here right within West Bloomfield Township.
All amazing ways to get involved, and we want to see as many people help out with holiday happiness as possible. Spread holiday magic all throughout Greater West Bloomfield. Jenny, last question before we let you go. Looking forward, what is your vision for how holiday happiness can continue to expand or reach even more families in the Greater West Bloomfield area?
Yeah, so we're continually receiving more requests for kids that we can help, and we can only do so much with the resources that we have. We took a pretty big hit after the global health epidemic, but we would just say, join the club. Come join us for a meeting, see if you would like to be a friend or a member of the club. But yeah, we really want to see more optimism, more hope in the community, more kids involved in seeing what they can build for the future, and get back to having a nice big gathering. Because while the gifting aspect was a great shift and it showed our perseverance, we are determined to get back to celebrating with others in a bigger way.
Optimism, hope, and community spirit. That's what we want to be seeing all throughout Greater West Bloomfield. Jenny, thank you so much for joining us today here on The Splash Live.
Thank you, Jake.
Of course, holiday happiness is going to be taking place all throughout the month of December. Once again, the wrapping day is going to be on December 13th and the distribution day on December 21st. Both of those events from 11 to 1 p.m. Lots to look forward to for the holiday season in Greater West Bloomfield. Preparing for the holiday season can also come with a lot of stress and anxiety that I'm sure a lot of people know all too well. Have no fear, because a holiday wellness retreat will be taking place in just a few short weeks on Friday, December 12th. A one-day educational wellness experience dedicated to mental health, mindfulness, and emotional well-being. Motivational speaker Stacey Renee joined us on The Splash Live to tell us what people can expect. Stacey, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure. I'm glad to be here today. Thanks for having me, Jake, and Civic Center TV.
Always love having you on, Stacey, and love hearing about this great event that's coming up. Definitely coming at a very appropriate time, as I'm sure the holiday rush will be getting to a lot of people by then. So what inspired the creation of the Mini Shift Health and Wellness Retreat, and what makes it unique from other wellness retreats?
Well, the Mini Shift Retreat is something that we are so excited to have, and it is a retreat that was inspired by a deep need to help people slow down, reconnect, and rediscover balance in a world that often really moves too fast. What makes it unique is that it's just not a wellness event. It's a full day of experience designed to nourish the mind, the body, and the spirit through evidence-based practices, through personal connection and interactive sessions led by certified clinicians. And we've combined education, healing, and community. So it's basically all in an intimate, supportive setting, which I think we all kind of need.
I know, I could probably use one of those myself. That sounds amazing. And the theme of the event, I do want to point this out, is small shifts create big changes. How would you say that reflects the goals of this retreat?
That theme is huge. Extremely huge, because a theme represents and reminds us that the transformation doesn't require massive leaps. It starts with small intentional steps, with whether it's changing for how we breathe, think, or set boundaries in these micro shift building momentum. The retreat is really going to help people identify those small but powerful changes that can improve mental clarity, emotions, resilience, and overall wellness long after the day ends.
I love that. And definitely things everybody can remember and everything can relate to and take away from something like this. How do you see this retreat helping people in West Bloomfield and nearby communities improve their mental and emotional well-being?
Absolutely. Well, West Bloomfield and the surrounding communities are filled with busy professionals, caregivers, and families who are constantly giving to others. And this retreat gives them permission to pause and take and invest in themselves by offering tools for mindfulness, stress reduction, self-awareness, and really empowering themselves as individuals to return to their homes and their workplace, because that's huge, and to be in a calmer environment, have a clearer mind, and feel more grounded, which ultimately strengthens not only yourself, but strengthens the entire community.
That's right. And there's going to be a lot of great things at this event, a lot of things for everybody to take away and to experience as they're a part of their wellness event. Could you maybe share some of the professionals and leaders that attendees will have the opportunity to connect with at this event?
Absolutely. For the leaders, the participants will meet incredible network of local professionals, from licensed clinicians, Reiki practitioners, leaders that are in the business, educators, and of course, the motivational speaker. And we're proud to include voices from healthcare, wellness, and corporate sectors who are really passionate about improving mental health and improving and helping others thrive. So it's really a day where leadership meets humanity. And I think that's a huge statement right there.
You're absolutely right. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with Stacey Renee, a motivational speaker with the Positive Shift, talking about the upcoming Mini Shift Health and Wellness Retreat that is set to take place on Friday, December 12th from 8:30 to 4:30 at the Hampton Inn in Brighton. Now, Stacey, as we mentioned, this event is going to be taking place towards the end of the year, towards the holiday season. How do you think this retreat will benefit individuals that might be struggling with stress or burnout as the year starts to wrap up?
Absolutely. For anyone feeling drained or really disconnected, this retreat offers a reset through sound therapy, mindful movements, and guided hypnotherapy. And we are really going to help participants quiet the noise and really reconnect with their inner calm. Even one day of intentional focus and well-being can reignite motivation, improve emotional regulation, and restore the balance that really we get that burnout steals from our souls, I'd like to say.
It's something that everybody deals with. It's something I've certainly dealt with at times in my life. I'm sure everybody watching can relate to this. So there's lots of things people can take away. Could you share a little bit, maybe the types of sessions that participants can expect to see at this event and how they're designed to create a meaningful transformation?
Absolutely. What's exciting about our retreat is that we can, attendees can anticipate an experience with 6 immersive sessions, including sound bowl therapy, Reiki, breath work, mindful movements, therapeutic hypnotherapy, and neuroplasticity-based mindset education, which is huge. And each one is designed to activate a different aspect of healing, which is emotional, mental, and physical. And together, this will help the participants release stress, reframe limiting beliefs, and really step into a stronger sense of self-awareness and purpose, which I think we all need.
You're absolutely right, especially at a time like as the year is wrapping up. It's the perfect time for a mental reset. Stacey, looking ahead, what are your hopes for how wellness events like this one will continue to grow and support personal development all across Oakland County, and especially in Greater West Bloomfield?
Our goal is to make this the very first mini shift retreat that will really uplift the community year after year. And we hope to expand our partnerships with local organizations, school, businesses, and continue promoting mental health and wellness and personal growth because it's important. When communities make well-being a shared priority, everybody wins. And that is so true. Individuals will flourish, workplaces will improve, and the community becomes stronger and really feels more connected, which is why we're really trying to involve the community as much as we can with sponsorships, with sending people from their own corporation, and maybe even have some sort of incentive for their employees at the workplace and send them to show that, yes, we do care about your health, mental health and wellness. And at the end of the day, when they come back, they'll feel refreshed and they're like, okay, this is something that we need to bring into the workplace.
That's right. And when one person starts to feel better, that helps improve the wellness of everybody around them. You could definitely say it truly is a positive shift for wellness. Stacey, thank you so much for joining us. Where can people go to gain a little more information about this event?
Absolutely. They can either email at info@minishiftalk.com. They can reach out and call. You can get that information by really just going to the website, www.minishiftalk.com. Or most people in the community know me, just reach out and call. I'm only a phone call away. Thanks, Jake.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today, Stacey. Can't wait to see a lot of people out at this event.
Thank you so much.
Friday, December 12th is the date to remember for a day of emotional wellness, mental health, mindfulness, and emotional well-being. Big thank you to Stacey Renee for joining us on the Splash Live. As the holiday season approaches and concerns continue to rise over potential cuts to SNAP benefits, community food resources are becoming more vital than ever before. Hospitality House plays a crucial role in ensuring that families across Greater West Bloomfield have access to nutritious food and essential support. Through its Client Choice Pantry and ongoing food drives, the organization works to meet growing demand while preserving dignity and choice for the people it serves. Here to tell us more is the Executive Director of the Hospitality House Food Pantry, Susan Erspamer. Susan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, really happy to have you with us. Very important discussion to be having around this time of year. Jumping right into it, can you give us a brief overview of Hospitality House's food drive program and how it supports your Client Choice Pantry?
Yeah, typically local businesses, schools, and community partners reach out to us for information about our food drive. We talk them through the process, provide flyers, answer any questions, and can also direct them to our website, hhfp.org, for information about the food drives. How they support our Client Choice Food Pantry is by giving us a variety of food. So when we purchase food from gleaners, we're getting all of the same thing. And when people do food drives for us, we're getting a variety of items to put on our shelves. For example, if I'm buying food from gleaners, I'm getting a pallet of cornflakes. But when I get a food drive, we're getting some fun cereals in there and just a good variety of items to put on our shelves and more items during this time with increased demand.
That's right, a wide variety of items for everybody who needs them. And I would imagine as the year goes on, like at certain points of the year, maybe certain items are more popular than certain other items. What unique needs do you see from families during the holiday season, and how do food drives help to meet those needs?
Well, the holiday seasons are a very difficult time for families who don't have the financial resources to purchase all sorts of items for their family and for their children. It's a very challenging time. So when people do food drives for us or support us in that way, if we're helping people to have groceries, food in their refrigerators, foods in their cupboard, they can direct their money in other areas to help not just support their family, but bring joy during the holiday season. We do, for our clients, have a Thanksgiving program that has grown significantly, where we give out meal boxes and a turkey. 3 years ago, we were at about 385 families. It grew last year to 516. This year, we're anticipating 650 families have signed up to get our Thanksgiving meal box with a turkey as well. And then in December, we have Holiday House, where we're providing a meal, but we're also providing gift cards so families can go out and buy gifts for their kids under the age of 18. We give them winter gear during this time, books. We have a raffle for toys. So we're supporting families as much as we can.
That's right. And I love hearing those numbers go up. You're helping as many families as possible, and that number keeps growing every single year. Susan, how do you balance holiday-focused donations with the year-round food security needs of your clients?
Yeah, so obviously good budgeting. So there is an influx of money at the end of the year with people contributing to our program. So we have to sustain that money throughout the year. But we also have events. So we have our Taste of Spring coming up in 2026 on March 11th, and a golf outing in July. And we apply for grants, and we do encourage year-round giving. But yes, it is challenging.
I'd imagine so, but it's great that you guys are putting in the work and you're doing all this great stuff for Greater West Bloomfield. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with the Executive Director of the Hospitality House Food Pantry, Susan Erspammer, talking about what the pantry provides, especially at a time like this, as I mentioned, with concerns about possible SNAP benefit reductions. With those concerns, how vital are community resources like yours right now, Susan?
They're very vital, not only Hospitality House Food Pantry, but all food pantries across the community. With the pause in SNAP benefits, we saw unprecedented numbers at our pantry. We had a 66% increase in 1 month of new clients seeking our support. And that doesn't even count clients who may have stopped seeing us for a while, but once SNAP was cut, they needed to come back, and they needed our source. Food pantries became a lifeline to individuals that were no longer receiving their SNAP benefits. We don't typically have lines through our pantry because we're appointment-based, but we had lines going through our pantry of people seeking our support.
66% increase. That is a big jump, and that's showing what might happen if these restrictions continue to come. And if SNAP benefits were cut entirely, what impact would you expect on your pantry and overall demand for food assistance?
Yeah, if SNAP benefits were cut, I can't even imagine it, because what we just experienced is unsustainable for the long term. So SNAP benefits provide 9 meals to an individual, where a food pantry provides 1 to that every 9. So those cash benefits that individuals are getting so they can go to the grocery store to purchase items are vital. So if those were cut and people are turning to food pantries to get all of their food, like I said, it would be unsustainable in the long run, but food pantries would have to gear up. We would have to find more financing and more support so that we could meet the demand. Hospitality House never turns anyone away who comes here for support. If somebody comes to us and says they're hungry, they're going to get food. So we would find a way, but it would involve much more support from the community, from the government, and from various areas.
And that's why
I would hate to see it.
I'm sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
I said I would hate to see it. The faces of people who come here, the tears we saw, people not knowing where else to turn. I would hate to see it if SNAP were ever to be permanently cut.
I would hate to see that as well, and that's why conversations like this are so important, to get the message out there and to send out the call for people to come by and to help out. So if people are watching this and they wanted to help out Hospitality House or any food pantry, what items would you say are the most helpful for donors to focus on, especially during the holidays or during periods of increased need?
Yeah, so monetary contributions are key. We can take our money and stretch it further to buy different food items. When people do food drives for us, items such as, I know I already mentioned cereal, our breakfast items, soup, skillet meals, personal care items, even when SNAP, people are getting their SNAP benefits. It doesn't cover incontinence supplies or feminine hygiene products. So we always like it when we get those types of items to support individuals. Um, Really anything. But like I said, with monetary contributions where somebody may donate us 1 can, I might be able to buy 2 to 4 cans.
All right, great things for everybody to remember and to help out with Hospitality House. And I'd imagine this work, I mean, it extends beyond the residents of the community, but how do you work with schools, businesses, local organizations to coordinate effective food drives?
Yeah, and I do want to point out during this challenging time with the pause and snaps, there was an outpouring of community support. So schools and businesses were coming to us wanting to do food drives. We work with Walday Consolidated Schools. We work with many businesses. If they just reach out to us and through HHF, they can reach out to us. They can see information about the food drives. But if they reach out to us, we'll walk them through how they can best support us. Without the support of community businesses, the schools, and individuals in the community, there really wouldn't be a Hospitality House. We're here because of that support.
You're absolutely right. It's the collective efforts of so many people in the greater West Bloomfield community and beyond. A few more questions for you, Susan. Let's say people are watching this and maybe they want to host a food drive themselves. What advice would you give to groups who want to host a food drive that truly supports your highest priority needs?
Yeah, like I said, they can log on to our website and see some basic information, but reach out to us. We want to have a conversation with you. We want to give you information on how you can support us. Groups who do this, if groups can keep in mind, it doesn't need to be a large business. It could be a small business. It could be your book club is meeting and you want to have a food drive during your book club. You could be having a euchre party. You could be having people over to watch the Super Bowl or other football games. I know some people have a theme for Super Bowl. So reach out to us, get creative with your ideas for a food drive, but realize we are here to support you in those efforts.
And that's great to hear, Susan. And looking forward, what would you say are your biggest goals for strengthening food assistance in the community, especially if federal support becomes a little less reliable?
Yeah, so we need to continue to diversify our funding streams if the federal support continues to dry up. So we need to look at a variety of ways we can bring in support to the pantry so that we can meet the growing community demand, as well as volunteer recruitment. Volunteers are the backbone of Hospitality House, and we couldn't do what we do without our volunteers. So our volunteers allow us to focus our resources on food and purchasing that. And again, they're the backbone of our organization. One of our goals is also looking for a permanent location. We're going to be looking for a hospitality home. We're going to need a larger facility to meet this growing demand, not only to store food, but to have our client choice food pantry so people have somewhere to shop. And we need to increase our community visibility. We need people to know that we're not only here to support them, but that we need support. So it's twofold. We want the community to know we're here for them, as well as getting support from the community, whether it's monetary contributions, whether it's food drives, or like I just explained, how volunteers are so important to us during this challenging time.
All right. Awesome ways for everybody to get involved. Susan, I want to thank you so much for having this conversation here on The Splash. Real quick before we let you go, if you could provide maybe one more reminder for people for where they should go if they want to learn more information about the food drive and how they can help.
Yeah, please visit our website at hhfp.org and reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to tell you about how we can support you and how you can support us.
All right, that's the place to go, and that is the place to help out just in time for the holiday season. Susan, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thank you so much for having me and bringing attention to this.
Of course. As I was saying, a very, very important conversation to have around this time of year. We want to see as many people as possible to be assisting food drives and to be donating those resources to help those families in need. And I hope to see a lot of those efforts throughout the remaining months of this year. Mojo, a beloved voice and influential figure in Michigan radio, was recently inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame, recognizing his decades-long impact on broadcasting. Known for his engaging style, quick wit, and dedication to the community, he has become a trusted and familiar presence on the airwaves across the state. I recently had the incredible honor to speak with Mojo about his recent honor and his impact on Michigan radio. Mojo, great to have you with us.
Hey, this is great. How you doing, Jake? This is awesome, and an honor to be able to be one of the million here.
It is an honor to be speaking with you, Mojo, and a big congratulations on your inductment into the Radio Hall of Fame. Let's get started. What was your first reaction when you found out this incredible news?
It's actually on our Mojo in the Morning Instagram and Facebook. They were taping it at the time. I cried. I got emotional. I started, Jake, the way that you are doing this right now. I started local cable access in my hometown in the suburbs of Chicago. And never did I ever think I was going to ever be on the radio, nor did I ever think that I'd get honored with the opportunity to be in the Radio Hall of Fame, which is part of the Museum of Broadcast Communications and is located in Chicago. And it's wild because we went there as a show and got a chance to kind of walk around. And as kids, you watch a lot of TV shows. I would watch all the time the late night shows and the daytime shows that were on. We were amongst, people that were in there, like the legendary Johnny Carson, Jimmy Fallon, as well as Bozo the Clown, like all these people, and then all the other radio people like Casey Kasem, J.P. McCarthy from, Michigan, television people like Bill Bonds, who Bill is also a West Bloomfield resident. And so it's a very cool experience, and honestly, it's a complete honor, and I don't think I deserve it, but I humbly accept it, and I hope I can become rich because of it.
Hey, you absolutely deserve this honor, Mojo, for everything that you have done to radio. And you just listed off a lot of big names, probably a lot of your idols. How does it feel to be recognized alongside some of the most iconic radio figures that there are out there?
Well, that night that I was inducted, and you've been showing pictures here on The Splash, I was inducted with Alice Cooper, who is a Detroiter and a legendary rocker, but also has an amazing radio show. There's the great picture, and you can see Alice over to the right there. Colin Cowherd has got a nationally recognized sports talk show. His show is amazing. Some of the biggest broadcasters in the business work for Julie Talbot, who is the person who was the first person inducted. She runs Premier Radio Networks. She was Rush Limbaugh's boss at one point, and now is the boss of Ryan Seacrest. So it was cool. I mean, Jake, I don't know what your aspiration is in life, but when I was working for Jones Intercable, Channel 4, and doing the local football games in the area, honestly, I thought that was the coolest moment of my life. At that moment, I was trying to live in every single moment that I was in, but I would have only dreamed of being able to be in a Hall of Fame. So, I mean, I was a kid who grew up and went to high school and never won awards at all. I couldn't win student council. Now I'm in the Radio Hall of Fame. That's pretty awesome.
That is really, really awesome. And you were just touching upon some of your past, like growing up. What originally drew you to radio, and what has kept you passionate about it all these years?
Well, I couldn't get a date otherwise. Yeah, honestly, I always say that radio draws the nerds, and then for some reason they have glow-ups once they get into radio or television. I love the idea that I could be part of people's lives. We have so many listeners that are from, my hometown of West Bloomfield, and to me, there is nothing better than getting the opportunity to make somebody's day even better than it already is going, or even better than that, if they're having the hardest day or the hardest part of their life at that moment, let them forget about it for the time that we can. So I like the idea that we go on the air, we crack the microphone. Actually, I'm sitting in the studio here, and if they want to come in, they can come walk behind. But I got Shannon and Kev and Anna who are in the studio with me, and they are, here's Shannon. Say hi to Shannon.
Guys.
Hello.
I mean, Shannon, West Bloomfield. Say hi to West Bloomfield. All our Chaldeans and
Hi, everybody.
my Jewish friends and my neighbors. I like, just like you, I like that there are people that happen upon maybe this and go, oh my God, that's, Mojo and Shannon and everybody from the radio. That's what they look like. And now they maybe become a fan. So my hope is that you'll listen to us and then maybe give us another try the next day, and then sometimes maybe become like addicted to listening to the show. I always say that what you do is you bring informative information to the community, letting people know about great things that are happening in West Bloomfield, which is an incredible town. My wife and I have lived in West Bloomfield for almost 26 years. I think that what we do is we talk about all the communities that we're on, including Detroit, Grand Rapids, and Toledo, which is where we're based right now.
Hey, all incredible work, and it is great to hear of how far you have come with your career. For those just joining us on the Splash Live, I'm talking with none other than Mojo in the Morning, a radio legend who was just inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame. Now, Mojo, you listed off a lot of the people that you were inducted alongside with, a lot of people who you grew up listening to. Are there any particular mentors, colleagues, or even some listeners that you'd like to credit for helping shape your career and what it is now?
Yes, I would like to credit Kool-Aid Lady, Misfit Victor, Smoker Jackie. Honestly, I started listening to radio back when I was, 10 years old, I think, maybe even younger than that. And I talked about this in my speech. My mom passed away when I was young. Radio was my escape. I listened to the radio as a way to forget about the pain that her going through cancer, dealt on me as a kid. Then when I got into radio, I got a chance to work with great, talent over the years. Like the first guy that gave me a job was a guy by the name of George McFly, who people in this area may not know, but he's a legend in Chicago. And then coming to Detroit, I had an opportunity over the years to work against Drew and Mike. Drew was a guy that I always had such a fondness for. And then honestly, you just saw Shannon just a second ago. Shannon's been my sister in radio, but also my sister in life. Now for so many years, I don't know, 12, 15, 20 years, 17 years. I know Shannon as well as anybody. We both have dealt with heartache and pain together, but we've also dealt with the highest of highs together. She keeps me sane and sensible in the studio, and I get a chance every day to work with Kevin and Anna and two great Chaldeans, Lydia and Bianca, who are incredible people. So honestly, I would say my mentors right now are truly everybody that every single day that I get a chance to work with, who come to work at a very ungodly hour of the morning and put on the greatest show, I think, in the history of Detroit radio.
I love it. And you're absolutely right. Everybody needs a strong team, and you have a very strong team with you with your show. Now, Mojo, you said that you have been on the air for about 17 years. What do you believe has been
17?
My apologies.
Shannon's been with me. So in Detroit, it's Detroit Mojo in the Morning is going to be 26 years old on February 21st. I've been on the radio. I'm 55. I've been on the air since I was 18 years old, and then when I was 17 was when I worked in cable. So I've been doing this way longer than I had ever thought I would. And honestly, I don't know anything else. If West Bloomfield wants to hire me as a crossing guard, I'll stand out in front of Orchard Lake Middle School and I'll hold that sign. But I'm hoping to do this until the end.
That's fantastic. And like you said, long time on the radio. What do you believe has been the key to maintaining such a strong connection with your audience over the years?
Being able to move with the times, to understand that you can't rest on your laurels. You got to come every single day, and having the trust that when you don't come in and have a good show, that the listeners know what a good show sounds like, and they'll be back the next day, and you just got to make sure you bring it. I always say that, we're like the the New England Patriots, that have won so many different Super Bowls. People always know what it's like to win a Super Bowl. The year that we don't win a Super Bowl is when they'll talk the most. We're going to have bad days, but you know what? Our goal is we're going to try to come and bring it the next day and make it just as good. And then the other thing, too, is living in the community. People see me in West Bloomfield. Like people know where we all live because we talk about where we live and what we're all about. And I think that just like the fact that I've taken to West Bloomfield as my hometown, I think that people get that, and they don't want to hear a nationally syndicated show. So that's always been a plus for us.
Well, you have made such an impact, and I cannot wait to see what else there is to come in the future with you, Mojo. There's so much more to see. And going back to the Hall of Fame recognition, how do you hope that this recognition reflects on your legacy in broadcasting?
Well, I'm not dying and I'm not retiring. So I hope that people, usually in sports, you only get a Hall of Fame when you're retired. So I hope that people don't think that this is the end. I still have many more years that I want to do this. And I think our show has many more years of doing great radio. But I hope that the legacy of what we all do and what I do personally is that people say there was humility in what they did, but damn, they were really good, and always, came to work every single day trying to do the best job that they possibly could.
And people look up to you every single day. Once again, Mojo in the Morning, joining us on The Splash this morning to talk about his recent induction into the Radio Hall of Fame. Now, Mojo, as somebody who's been in radio for quite a long time, a lot of people look up to you. A lot of people see you as a source of inspiration. What advice would you give to young broadcasters trying to make their mark, especially in today's fast-changing media environment?
I would say don't ever give up. Accept every opportunity that comes your way. My first on-air job came because somebody called in sick 10 straight days in a row, and there wasn't anybody to fill in on the 10th day. So I was always there hoping that I would get the call to be the person that would go on the air. And I knew that the moment that I was put into the game, I was going to give it my all. So in life, no matter if it's radio or if it's becoming a teacher or a police officer or firefighter, whatever it might be, always be there, always show up, always be willing to take whatever job that they're willing to give, and then give it your all. And if you got talent, they'll see that. And in my case, I don't think my talents were what got me to this point. I think it was definitely the hard work and the dedication of making sure that each and every day I was going to be great for whoever I was working for.
Hey, hard work and dedication means so much, and it's what everybody needs to get to where they want to go. Now, Mojo, radio has always been about connecting with people. What would you say has been the most rewarding part of that connection for you?
Well, we are about to get into the holidays here right now, and our Mojo in the Morning Breaking and Entering Christmas Wish program, which year after year, we've always made sure that we had at least a resident from West Bloomfield. We get help through the West Bloomfield PD and the West Bloomfield Fire Department, where they'll help us nominate some families. But that is one of those things where I want to plug this, because if and I know West Bloomfield's always thought of as an affluent area, but there's not nobody understands that there's people struggling in a town like West Bloomfield. And now with everything, being the way that it is in our country, there are even more people struggling. I want people to go, our West Bloomfield residents, go to mojoswish.org and send us a letter that we can grant a wish for you so that every kid, every family can have a holiday, whether you're going through illness or you're going through financial hardship. Don't be proud, put that aside and tell us what's going on. That, I think, has been a great legacy. We started this 501c3 after just literally dipping into our own personal pockets and granting wishes using like as little as $1,000 to spread amongst a number of different people. And now we've almost raised $1 million over the years to break break into people's homes, so to speak. This is what we do. We go on the air, surprise people early in the morning, and then say, hey, can we break in and bring Christmas to you? Because nobody ever breaks into somebody's home and leaves things. They always take things. And then we set up the tree and the gifts and all that stuff. That's such a great legacy. That's always incredible. So I'm very, very proud of that as a lasting legacy that will forever be part of the history of the Mojo in the Morning Show.
I love it. I love hearing about all the work that you're doing to give back to the community. That's so great to hear, Mojo, and we appreciate everything that you do. I'd love to keep talking with you, but I got one more question before we wrap things up. Now that you've achieved this milestone, what's next for you, either personally or professionally? What's next?
I'm going to Red Coat for a burger. No. Honestly, what's next is to wrap this year up strong and to come back and continue to just keep doing great radio. I'm hoping that the Lions win a Super Bowl, Pistons win a NBA championship, the Tigers win the World Series, and the Red Wings win a Stanley Cup. Honestly, nothing is ever different than from getting the award to not getting the award. It's the same thing. I drive Orchard Lake Road every single day to and from, and I know when the construction's going on and when there's no construction. So I don't know. Maybe I'll run for West Bloomfield supervisor or something like that. I don't know. I actually have had people ask me if I would ever get into politics. And the problem is, I got too much of a bad past. There's no way that anybody would ever allow that.
I mean, I'd vote for you. I think you do so much greatness around the community and across the radio airwaves. I cannot wait to see what's to come. Mojo, thank you so much for joining us here on the program today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you to what you do, because honestly, when there's nothing on television and I'm looking for something, I watch The Splash.
Hope Mojo's watching this one. Really appreciated being able to talk with him on The Splash. But that's going to do it for us today here on the program. Big thank you to all of our guests and for everybody on the Splash Live team for making this show possible every single day. I've been your host, Jake Schaff, live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.